Across the continent of Greater Banya, peoples of all walks of life share a common sense. A sense that something is approaching. What it is remains a secret to most, but they can feel it. Rumors of sickness spread in the south. A mountain flies in the west. An army of living flame marches through the desert sands, leaving a line of glass as their trodden path. Yes, these are the troubles set to welcome a god into this world. Behelit, the lidless eye, god of the searing light. She approaches and will not be deterred. However, a few know of her coming and prepare. A deadly and cunning thief, a champion of the mountain tribes, a cleric of chaos, a brilliant artificer, and a scarred soul whose past is catching up with him. Can these individuals save the rest? Can they kill a god? Can they save their friend? Can they each finally find a home? Let us together read the final chapters of these heroes. Hello, friends, and welcome to Goats and Dragons, the stream where Helpful Goat Gaming plays Dungeons and Dragons, a game of shared storytelling where I make my friends almost get to their destination, but not quite. Call me Spirit Airlines.
Wow.
How
I'm-
long have you been sitting on that, Andy?
How long? When's the last time we played? I'm Andrew Gilbert, but tonight I'm your friendly neighborhood dungeon master, and I'm not alone. With me, as always, is Galway playing the Tiefling Sorcerer Charity.
Hey everybody, sorry, I was adjusting a couple of settings. We do full intros now. My name is Galway, pronouns he, him, his, and I play Callan Charity of the Family, whose pronouns are also he, him, his.
Adam playing the Halfling Rogue Burbage Kemp.
Hello, everybody. Yes, my name is Adam Lover. My pronouns are he. What? Did somebody say something?
No?
Okay,
You okay?
I'm gonna take that back. Give it to me again, Andy.
We're moving on. Lena playing
No,
the
fair.
Goliath Barbarian
All right.
Stormbringer.
No.
We'll come
no,
back.
no.
We'll come back. You're fine.
Okay, come back to that. Yeah.
All right. Lena playing the Goliath Barbarian Stormbringer.
Yeah, hi, I'm Lena. My pronouns are she, her, and I play Stormbringer, whose pronouns are also she, her.
And Adam playing the Halfling Rogue Burbage Kemp.
Hi, everybody. My name's Adam. My pronouns are he, him, his, or they, them, theirs. And I play Burbage Kemp, whose pronouns are he, him, his. And the last time we played was on, I think, May 13th, 2022. And we are recording on July 29th. So that's like 2.5
Rachel
months.
playing the Gnomish Artificer Clem.
Hi, I'm Rachel. I play Clem. I use she, her, hers pronouns.
Rachel's the reason we haven't played this.
It's true. I had a baby.
Woo!
It's she's outside of me now instead of inside of me.
It's good.
And I'm currently attached to suctions that is pumping milk out of my body while I'm doing this. And I will do it again at the end of the stream because motherhood is glamorous. If Eric decides to bring her downstairs sometimes, I'll put her on camera and you can say hi to her.
Aw.
There you go.
And Darcy playing the Tiefling Cleric Hakari.
Hey, I'm Darcy, and
Oh, you froze.
I
No!
play
Try it again.
Wow.
Can you hear?
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
can
A
kind of hear
little.
you now, but you were more frozen than Phidero just then.
Heyo.
Huh?
This is all it's going to be tonight, isn't it?
I've got all this pent up Burbage energy, but it's gonna have to come out somehow.
Good. I can once again the lines between Galway and Charity blur as there's just
Let's see if this helps. Try it again.
Okay. I'm Darcy. I play Hikari. My pronouns are they, them, theirs, and Hikari's are she, her, hers.
Beautiful. All right. Well, hey, we're back from our summer break. We usually do this anyway. It's not just Rachel, but we're back.
Aw.
We're gonna have a lot of fun. We're in the last few arcs of the story. I mean, we're getting. This is kind of the last chapter for Goats and Dragons, Fates of Ryn, and everyone's doing great. Everyone's doing amazing. So thanks for being here along on this ride. You can listen to us on our podcast, Goats and Dragons, or our second podcast, Helpful Goat Gaming Presents, where we play a lot of shorter campaigns, every once in a while like a one-shot, but most importantly, the interlocking campaign jammed by Galway in the world of tier. And we're just starting up a new tier stream as well, so we're going to have those in our podcast eventually. And I'm in that, along with Lena, and obviously Galway GMing. Super fun. Should check that out as well. And then we have a third podcast, Dom and Dragons, the 25 episode campaign where we play D&D with actor Dominic Monaghan, who's in a new show, Moonhaven, which everyone should probably check out. I haven't yet. I don't have AMC Plus.
I've been watching it.
Is it good?
It's really interesting. It's
Yeah.
got some interesting vibes to it, and I enjoy having it on for sure.
Yeah. He's in there with Joe Magniello, I believe, who's also really into D&D.
He's a fucking nerd.
Yeah. And we are affiliate on Twitch, which means you're able to cheer and subscribe to us. So, and if you like something we do, please do that, because that's fun. But there's other ways you can help support us. Exclamation point merch in the chat will get you hooked up with our merch page, which there's just all kinds of crazy fun things from lots of different Helpful Goat streams on there. Art from our community members. And we have a new tier design.
Yep. There's new tier design with I'm going to say all the campaign icons, and I mean that. There's art that people haven't seen before on there.
For future campaigns.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
At least through the AC era. There's also the Charity's back tattoo t-shirt, which is what I'm wearing, and I'm not going to turn around to show it to you. It's very pretty, though, and it was designed by Sam.
Awesome.
Elise was wearing a Helpful Goat shirt when she dropped off this blueberry cake to me today. So, if you want to be
Delicious.
cool like Elise, you should get one.
And you want to be cool like
Elise
true.
is the coolest. Also, you can just donate straight to us at exclamation point KO-FI, our coffee page. If you just want to buy us a cup of coffee, help us monetarily run everything that we're doing here. It does help out. It helps out a lot. It helps us buy equipment. It helps us make sure we can get the things we need to. That sort of thing. And if you want to join us and our community, exclamation point Discord in the chat, and that gets you hooked up with us directly. We are all very active on the Discord, and we play games. Rachel reads stories to us. We watch movies together. We play Fortnite and Pokemon together, and all kinds of fun things. So if you just kind of want to hang out with cool people, that is a great place to do it. We also have exclamation point donate in the chat, and if Galway, you wouldn't mind sharing what this month's probably
Sure,
for a while.
I just
what
had
our
to
thing
give
is.
Lena some shit in chat. Yeah, right now we have links to a variety of resources helping people access safe, legal abortions when needed. As everybody is probably aware, there are a great deal of rights in America that are currently moving in a very recidivist direction. And so we here at Helpful Goat encourage you donate to any of the charities on that list if you can. If you are motivated or inspired to look in your local area, see what you can do, see if there's volunteer work you can do, even things as simple as petitioning local senators, Congress people for both the federal level and your local level is sort of what has to happen right now. So please, if you have time, energy, resources, either emotional or monetary, check it out.
Wow. Andy's more frozen than Phidero.
Really wondered why there was no talking because I was
I
not on
I was-
cams, and I was like,
well, no,
I
no,
thought
I
he
was.
was doing a bit, and
Andy's-
then I realized he wasn't blinking.
Andy's computer just, I don't know, started restarting for some reason.
Oh, good.
he's
Oh.
never
I
seen
like
this
how we're
before.
coming back from break in the most helpful goat way possible with the tack. No, I got done, and I also wasn't. I was looking up, but I wasn't like looking at the cams closely. And then like I looked down, sort of was getting a drink after I could pause, and I'm like, wait, was I supposed to say something else?
you're like, why is
Andy
he just sitting
hasn't
there?
spoke. Did I miss something? That was the end of the donate command.
I'm going to take it back. I'm going to give an alt for editing, Andy. Wow, Andy's more frozen than Vimeris.
But then it's
Can I
wondering.
get another take? Can you
Yeah,
give
what
me
is there
a
another
different
one? Who else is
I just want you to say it with more emotion.
Oh, okay. Wow. Andy's more frozen than Vimeris.
Okay, now say
Perfect.
that. Now talk about how he's disappeared like Burbage is dead.
Just a second. I
Oh!
just have to say,
Sorry.
the reason that I burst out laughing was on my end with the sound coming through. Adam wound up to do the with more emotion, and then there was the goat bleat of someone falling or donating, and you just like go, ah. I'm like, oh, okay, that's
Pretty
fine.
emotional.
Nice.
That was a pretty good zinger about Burbage's dad, Rachel.
Thank you.
I miss all the fun.
Yeah, but you caused all the fun by not being here. So it's kind of like quantum physics, you know?
You caused the fun by not being here is the worst thing you can say to Andy.
Right.
Right?
That is my hell.
That is Andy's actual hell. I know this about Andy because we've talked a lot about our shared FOMO.
Oh boy. So yeah, let me restart everything here. I'll be with us.
Just for the very start.
But I believe we have yeah. Adam
I'm Rachel.
playing Burbage Kemp. No. But do we have Chelsea's poem?
Yeah, it's posted up in the
Yeah,
Discord.
that's what we do here.
Yeah.
I remember how things work.
Would someone care to read?
Ow. Sorry.
I can.
I didn't have it pulled up yet.
Oh no, it's fine. You finally made it to the frozen Phidero. Hooray! A moment of pause and applause for surviving the bumps along the way. To get inside will be no small quest, and seriously, for the love of the family, take a much-deserved short rest. Biggest excite and thank you for this story we love so dear, and every bit of joy and chaos that always ensue. Wait, hold on, does this mean we get Cat Cam and Marlow Cam too? Welcome back, and so much love, Fates of Ryn crew. I can see and hear you.
Yay!
Thank you, Chelsea.
I will do my best to give you Marlowe Cam at some point, but she is currently sleeping on Eric. And we've lost Darcy.
Tech
This
is
is
not
fine.
being kind.
We're never going to escape
This is fine. This is fine.
intros.
Guys, is it just me, or have we never seen Andy and Darcy together on the same stream?
We often do.
Andy and Darcy are the same person.
I've
Yeah.
incited them to hit him.
That's true.
and gotten to watch the progress as they left their frame and entered Andy's.
I want a good helpful goat conspiracy, though. What's a good helpful goat conspiracy?
I run tier.
Put that in the chat. Yeah.
It's a Fates of Ryn conspiracy, but apparently something Andy said last session made me think that maybe Aideen has been a baddie all along. I wrote out this whole long paragraph about why Aideen is evil.
Yeah, that was the desperate ploy from the elephant who's currently trapped. I'm also cutting into Andy doing a recap though, so.
Previously on Goats and Dragons, The Fates of Ryn. The family said their goodbyes to their loved ones in Cliffmill, having set them to the arduous task of preparing for an invasion, and teleported to Phidero. However, something happened in the teleportation process that surprised Charity. Hurtling then through space, Charity, with all his might, tried to settle close to their desired destination, as opposed to in the inside of a mountain, under the sea, or amidst the bubbling lava spilling forth from an open fireplane gate north of Phidero. Luckily, the family wound up inside a forgotten tomb near the city's walled edge. The tomb was for a powerful mage that had bewitched powerful beings to guard it, and the family had a hard time making it out of there alive. But when they finally did, they were greeted not with hot winds of the desert city they knew, but a cold, harsh world that no longer resembles the warmth of Phidero. Now, you all stare up to the western walls of the city, themselves freezing over, and you wonder how to get in. The morning casts cold shadows on this side, and the rocks behind you that hid the tomb now seem hard and threatening. You knew you were not going to be greeted amicably here, but everything about this situation just makes you feel like you're stepping in a hostile planet. The longer you stay, the more this creeping sense of dread overtakes you. My friends, what would you like to do?
Burbage is just staring at a frozen palm tree really intently, to the point that it just seems like he's not even aware of what's going on around him or who else is here. And then suddenly he's like, all right, I'm back. Sorry, I was just taking a little mid-season break because it's like the middle of summer and this palm tree's frozen. So I just kind of took a break in the middle of summer. It's just a mid-season break and I'm back. We're all back. Well, let's do it.
It's definitely not the middle of summer.
Well, but it's the middle of a desert.
Yes.
Burbage, who are you arguing with?
Probably Elrond. Not Elrond. That's not his name. It's
L. Ron Hubbard?
It's Thaedric Dale. Eldon!
That makes as much sense as anything, I guess.
Do we know why it's so icy here?
Not exactly. Or, you've heard rumors, and I think the players have guessed maybe, but that the city itself has been shut down for a while, and now this creeping cold has come over it.
In all seriousness, Clem, the last time we were here, there had been some instances of it snowing in Phidero.
Is that not normal or?
Desert.
Oh, no.
This is a desert, Clem.
Yeah, I grew up in a city and then lived in the mountains for the past 50 years, so.
Cities can be in the desert.
Yeah, but I grew up in one city.
And it wasn't in the desert?
But we just came from there.
Oh, right. I forgot you were from there. That's why you were weird. Yeah, okay.
More so than normal? Yeah.
Yeah. But it snowed here one time before we left, and then also we kidnapped this plant for somebody that the plant made
How do you
cold.
kidnap a plant? Was it sentient?
Oh, I don't think so. That would be weird. Was it sentient?
God, I hope not.
Should I explain the differences between burglary and kidnapping, or is that not worth it right now?
I'd say we can save that for, I don't know, fun enjoyment this evening.
But maybe they planted the plant here and then it grew big and made big cold.
To be fair, as insane as that sounds, that's actually probably what happened, because a similar plant, sentient or otherwise, is kind of what made the ice spire that Vimeris is trapped in over in Cliffmill. So clearly, they have lots of cold energy. It's also what caused the pair of turtle dragons that are in that spire to hunt us. Yeah, not great.
You even remember, Charity, that Ponway had already one of these in his possession. He had mentioned you were getting another. He was wanting another group to get another one, and then you guys to get a fourth one.
Yeah, the last one was Cliffmill, but it was the last of several.
Yeah.
And as for why, I imagine this has something to do with deterring the army of living flame that Cliffmill's about to have to deal with.
Hey, this is very derailing, but have we considered ways before we free Vimeris to make the ice spire bigger? Not like to kill us, to like protect the town from the fire army that's marching towards it.
Doesn't ice melt under fire?
Not that
But I
one.
think this is like magic ice.
Ah.
Trust me, I've hit it with plenty of fireballs.
We need a druid to do that, and our druid is kind of stuck.
I was going to say, so here's sort of the problem with looping back to that one.
So we're outside this wall, and Burbage is trying to remember, reacquainting himself with his past experiences with Phidero, and trying to figure out, is there some kind of secret, subtle entrance, tunnel, something, secret tunnel. Insert that song here. He's trying to remember if there's something like that.
We don't have the funds for that licensing.
Damn, that's too bad.
Yeah, give me a history check, Burbage.
Don't mind if I do. History.
Can we also start like short resting while we're thinking about ways to get into Phidero and see if we can complete a short rest?
Sure, yeah, you can, if you want, just kind of find a nook to try to stay as warm as you can. And it's cold, but it's not like Pelatoth layer cold, or
Okay.
you've been.
So we
colder.
can short rest?
Yeah, if you want
Or
to start
should I?
next. Yeah.
I'm afraid to put in things and have you be like, actually, so.
Yeah, I mean, you'll finish the short rest.
I don't
for
get
about
anything
an hour.
on a short rest, so why am I even arguing with you?
Burbage doesn't need a short rest. I guess he didn't get hurt in that fight against the teddy
Yeah,
bear.
I didn't either.
Same.
Oh well. Burbage rolled an 18 history check.
An 18. Burbage, yes, you recall a couple secret sort of passages. One is a tunnel that is a bit precarious, has been abandoned for a very long time, but actually reached toward a temple kind of way outside of town, to the northwest of Phidero. And there was an entrance, a tunnel entrance that led into town. You also know, down by the docks, there was a few sort of grates underneath the waterline that allowed you to come back in and come up through those. Otherwise, you'd have to swim out or something around the walls, and the docks themselves are open to the water. Or then there's several gates around town. Those are the ways in that you know.
And the gates are shut, right?
You don't see any from your vantage point, right?
I was gonna say, because where we know we are on the city, there shouldn't be gates.
But we've heard that the gates
The city's on lockdown.
City's on lockdown.
I mean, the city pretty much closed right after us. When we headed out, from what I remember. I don't remember how hurt Clue was, and because I think we pulled him in as a new token on this map, he is no longer hurt. But I'll just say he's short resting and I don't know.
Sure.
Use 3 of his dice or 4. I'll get him back up to full and just say it would probably take about half his dice. Yeah, so I think Charity would sort of be looking around. Actually, so there's the city wall, and then is there ice extending it, or is it just frozen?
The wall itself is frozen. I mean, it's already a very tall wall, about 40, 50 feet up. But yeah, there's nothing extending beyond that, really.
While other people are resting, because Charity actually doesn't need HP at the moment, I'm going to cautiously fly up to see if I can see over and into the town. I'm not flying towards the wall. I'm just sort of flying up from where we are, a bit away from the wall.
Sure. So you kind of go straight up, and you now recognize sort of where you are. You're on that northwest corner of Phidero, where your tokens are on the map. You to your left, is the Lonely River, which then meets up with the river slums where Burbage used to live. Behind you then is the Creeping Dunes, where all the Sandkeepers would go to work. Although you'd see those as kind of frozen over dunes at this point. The sand is not whipping around. But those are the normal features that you sort of expected to see here. Unexpectedly, you see a very large volcano sticking out of the desert to the north.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant in the city. I'm like, well, that's not
No. Billowing a black smoke into the air, covering the sky above you entirely in what you thought was dark clouds, but seems to be some sort of mixture of smoke and cloud. A couple rivers of lava have poured down into the sand wastes itself. One of them is kind of snaking its way toward Phidero on the northern end. And you see in the distance just a mass of what you thought was like a lake of lava, but it does seem to be very slowly moving. This might be a large force of those fire elementals that you've heard about. And they seem to be moving this direction.
Oh. Does it seem like they're going to get here like today?
No, probably next few days. I mean, they're still a ways out, but it's obviously their intention. You can tell.
Do I see anything stopping me visually from just flying into the city?
Nope. You can give me a perception check.
Sure.
Just kind of double check a few things, but.
I am going to cast guidance on myself first. Guidance is a cantrip that makes you or your friends better at stuff. Use it early, use it often. 20?
Yeah, 20. You see several sort of winged beasts above the city. They look like wyverns to you. And one of them just gets kind of close enough that you can see a rider on it. Someone with white and gold robes flowing behind them as they ride, which you recognize as one of the sort of captains of the guard of the city. This, again, is all theocracy, so all of these are temple members.
Neat.
None of them cross over the border of the walled city.
Andy, your vocals seem very in and out, gravelly, staticky.
Oh, do they?
Yeah,
Our internet must be nasty.
I'm sorry.
It's nasty internet.
Nasty.
Is this any better for the moment?
No.
Ooh. I don't know. Yeah, let's just reset our router. I'm sorry, everyone. Talk amongst yourselves, please. Darcy and I are going to
Sure.
here for a minute.
Free to ask us questions about our characters or Fates of Ryn. Also, I'm going to temporarily cover us because the flickering of the movie background is bothering me enough that I'm just going to change out that background.
Oh,
Hey, guys,
You're gonna take
wow.
this opportunity to fix it.
Andy just disappeared worse than Burbage's father did.
Ayo.
Who are you
I don't-
talking to,
you
and
can't
who
just
is
steal
Andy?
Rachel's jokes.
She told me to do that. I'm taking direction.
It was a gift joke.
It was a
Oh, okay.
Don't look a gift joke in the mouth, Lena.
I don't know what that means.
Oh well.
Everybody
She's got a
knows
point,
that
Rachel.
the jokes that I give always have teeth. You know, I got nothing. I don't know. I'm tired.
Terrible.
Why does the
Jokes of
Fire
teeth.
Nation want to destroy Phidero anyway?
That was me. That's my
Yeah.
question.
Has it been? Are they trying to break in to get the Hellfire first? Or is there something else going on?
Chat thinks they remember, and they probably have better memory than me. Chelsea and Sam, and maybe Rachel also. Maybe just Chelsea and Sam. I don't know.
Rachel doesn't have a good memory about
Okay.
these things.
Chelsea and Sam think that it's just for the Hellfire. Chelsea thinks that maybe they remember like Pelatoth or someone else saying something about that. That's probably true. I'm just having trouble remembering things.
And if they still need, do they still need like certain magic artifacts for their plan? Because wasn't that part of what leveling
Possibly.
the cities was for? Like they were
Oh,
trying
I
to
think so.
find certain items, certain objects that
Right. So
would
maybe some of
not-
that's here also.
yeah, things that would not burn.
Do we know what objects other than things that won't burn? I feel like we don't.
Well, was the sphere that fake Theodric was in, was that supposed to be one of the items that survived the fire in Wickamp? I feel like that's possible.
Possibly. There were a bunch of them. Like, we had one of our handouts has a list where it was like almost like not one of the children's rhymes with the frog or bird or whatever, the odd parable one, but there was one that like literally discussed a list of like a stool, an axe, a blah blah blah, a blah blah blah, where they were mostly fairly mundane things. Also, I'm sorry that the cameras are completely freaked out, but I'm not going to be able to fix that right now. 2 people down is too many.
No, this is great.
I literally just wrote in my notes, the bad ritual has to be done on consecrated ground, like hollow ground. Cliff Mill fits basically everything. And then I wrote, I'm going to kill myself. I'm mad at myself.
Okay.
I'm not going to kill myself.
Okay.
They also need items that fit a lot of things we've heard about before. What items, Lena?
Yeah, the chair. Well, and some of those items had been given to some Goliaths, the Goliaths to like watch over, and instead of watching over them, they gave them to that store.
Yeah.
And so the Red family, I think, at least like got some items just from buying them in that store.
Okay, I found it. The Red family at least was looking for a bowl, a chair, and an axe.
Holy crap, I remember 2 of them.
And the chair was... They got the chair.
Enough of this at all.
And I don't think they got the axe or the bowl.
There's also a possibility that your axe is the axe.
My axe is not that special, but it could be.
But it is durable, and it survived a fire, which was that because we determined that the fire blight was them burning the world essentially to find the items that they needed to collect in order to summon Behelit, because the fire wouldn't destroy those items. So these people have literally destroyed and murdered multiple cities worth of people just to get these things.
Gotta admire their commitment.
No,
No, we don't got it.
Oh, well, sorry. No, I meant you not. Don't admire it.
Definitely admire it. Yes, they're very admirable.
The commitment, not what they're committed to.
Listen, Hitler had a lot of good ideas.
Whoa!
Wow, thanks for taking the heat off me, Rachel.
God.
I am a Jew. I can say that, right?
No, what? Nobody can say that.
Them's the rules.
What in the
It's
world?
literally a crime in Germany.
That's true. No, it was a joke with teeth. Don't look it in the mouth.
Yeah, joke with teeth. Don't look a tooth joke in the mouth.
What?
Do I sound a bit better? Is that
Yes.
anything? Okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
but we are an anti-Semitic podcast now.
God damn it. I'm gone for 20 seconds, guys.
Yeah, it's wild.
all it
listen, how are we supposed to fill time, okay?
Almost anything else.
Wow.
Listen, motherhood changes you.
Into
Andy, please, for the love of God, say something.
Okay, hey, I'm back. I hope you had fun. Sounds like you did not. I will. So Galway, yes. Charity has seen these wyverns flying over Phidero, patrolling almost. It looks like, and one of them got close enough that you could see their white and gold robes. So these are temple guardians.
Okay.
Yeah.
Looking down, sort of with, if I'm scanning with that perception check, do I see people moving in the city?
Yes, huddled close together for warmth, with big fur on. Every once in a while, yeah, you'll see someone kind of rushing around. It is not the bustling city, though, that you remember. And of course, there are some of the outlying areas. So there are houses and stuff outside the walls as well, and you see people in there too.
With that, Charity will very quickly flap away from the wyvern. Sort of land. Okay, so they're watching the sort of aerial approach to the city. There are still people moving around inside, but there's not nearly as many. And also they seem very cold. Speaking of, Charity's going to rummage through his pack and put back on the heavy cloak that he had for being in the mountains. Better. Yeah, so I don't know.
It was Adam, of course.
We just lost Adam.
He's back. It's fine. Okay. we'll play at some point, I promise.
So I think we should try to get in a different way, but so the gates presumably are still closed. They're guarding the skies, but with the fact that we see people inside, maybe there's another way?
Could we dig? Like, just dig real good?
Possibly, but I had a less arduous method. If the short rest is finished.
Sure, yeah.
I do want to do something during the short
Oh,
rest.
okay, sorry. So yeah, take that over,
okay.
because Charity will sort of say, but I want to let Clue finish resting before we try.
Sure.
So, in my inventory, the last item I have is sign-in book from Tomb.
Yeah.
Can I take some time to see if there's anything relevant or interesting?
Sure. Give me a history check as you're looking through the names here.
Ba-ba-da. History. Is it related to magic items, alchemical objects, or tech devices?
No.
Fuck. Uh, 18.
Ooh, 18. Interesting. Interesting. Let me look up something. Where are I have written far too many handouts for this campaign.
Not as a critique, but yeah, I'm like, one of the places where you were gone, I'm like, it's in one of the handouts. I do not remember which one. I am not going to go look for it.
Where are you? I'm looking for the brief history of Phidero.
Books and tomes, lost knowledge. It's not in lost knowledge.
It's not with the party.
Yeah, it's a brief history of Phidero. It is in with the party.
Yeah.
There it is. Yep, a brief history. Thank you so much. All right. So you recognize a couple names in here. One of them was Ponway Elvor. One of them was Israk Devere.
Okay.
And one of them was your old master, C. Ekris Wren.
Does that feel important or relevant at all?
It seems interesting that these kind of powerful people had all visited this tomb at some point.
Also,
and then very quickly, even while some of them are still alive, it got lost. Because none of you who are familiar with Phidero has ever heard of any of this here. And itself is covered with rocks and moss and would have been very hard to find from the outside.
So a lot of powerful assholes seem to know about this tomb and signed in. Like, I guess they like to follow rules. I don't know if you need to sign in. Should we sign in? I guess I took the book, so it doesn't matter anymore. But they signed in like good rule boys.
that's interesting. Well, from what I know, Ponway and Israk were both powerful, well, are, in Ponway's case, powerful mages. So that might have something to do with it.
Are we supposed to tunnel through the tomb to get into Phidero?
We just came from the tomb, though.
I know, and it was really bad. I don't really want to go back there.
Yeah. I do have 2 potions of flight, if that would help.
Wyverns.
Oh, I wasn't looking up at the sky at all. Or paying
Guys.
attention.
Guys, now, we've got some options in terms of getting into Phidero, and I agree. I don't really want to go back into the tomb where there are 2 teddy bears named Joy and what was the other one?
The anger?
Joy and Anger, and they both turned into monsters. That was awful.
Oh, the teddy bears. Yeah, sorry. I forget what the other teddy bear was.
I've got notes. I don't feel like looking for it.
Sacrifice.
Also, I'm pretty sure, is that thumb named Julian still on my back?
That thumb?
Yeah, I think there's a thumb named Julian that was summoned into existence by somebody's spell, and it's been riding Burbage's back, and it exists for another 8 hours.
Yeah, it was. You had the tiny servant. Rachel, you were the one who.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Okay, yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, Julian and I happen to know that there are at least 2 other options for getting into town. One, we could go to this entrance to a secret tunnel in an abandoned temple north of town, or we could go find these grates by the docks and get into the town through there.
Which of those is less likely to have weird teddy bears and
Well, the secret tunnel could be described as precarious, and the docks could be described as docks. So,
You couldn't have even stretched to piers?
No.
Jetties? Wharves?
Pros and cons here. I think with the docks, we'd probably get wet. And with the secret tunnel, we'd have to enter a house of worship.
Has it finished the sort of short rest as
Yes.
Clem has been looking through that?
Yeah.
Charity's like, just one other option. And he's going to walk towards the wall. Clue? Ethereal. And Charity wants Clue to take him with him.
Yeah, so you and him flip into the ethereal plane. This, though, ethereal plane around you, normally it's just sort of silvery shadows that dance and sort of outline what the real world, material world looks like. This feels fuzzy, like the world is being distorted almost here. There's a harsh wind that whips by you and Clue. And then in front of you, where the walls of this city should be, you see a gleaming blue, just solid plane of force stretching as far as you can see up into the air.
Charity does sort of nod.
There is something here that seems to be bleeding over into whatever protects Phidero itself is bleeding over into the ethereal plane. This is insane levels of magic.
Charity's going to sort of look at it. So, you're more experienced with the ethereal than I am, Clue. I'm assuming we can't just walk through that. All right. Well, before we go back and they can hear us, do you have a preference for temple versus docks?
Nah, he just shrugs his shoulders, sort of.
Fair enough. All right, let's go back.
Kind of rubs it against you.
I'll sort of pat the top of his head as we phase back in.
You see them pop.
All right. Yep. Those are the options. Docks or tunnel. Also, we did. Someone mentioned that there's someone smuggling people in and out of the city. Burbage Kemp, which that might be a loose end in of itself. We want to tie up.
Wait. Who said that? Did we all hear that? Did I hear that?
Who did say that to us, Andy?
You had heard from just someone about the news of Phidero. A couple things, that Phidero was in lockdown. It was freezing over. Poneway was dead, and someone named Burbage Kemp was a smuggler a hero for the people who need to get in or out of the city.
Guys, it's happening again. Time fuckery. Future me already exists and is smuggling people in and out of Phidero.
Look, Burbage, we figured out it wasn't really time fuckery. I think it was memory fuckery, because something weird with Roburn, but she's better now, or at least for me, she's better. And also with the that organization,
Riddle
Somebody
Machina?
restart Storm.
yeah,
Riddle
the Riddle
Machina.
Machina. Thank you.
No, it's
So I don't think it was time
Riddle
fuckery. So
Machina is
maybe
the name
you've
of the
just been in two places, like going back and forth real fast doing this, and you just forgot because of memory fuckery.
Oh,
So,
maybe.
what the hell are you talking about?
Wait, do we all know Roburn's alive?
I think so. Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
Storm
Charity
shared
would
that.
have mentioned to everybody else that.
Yeah,
Ah, that's-
Hakari would have mentioned that too.
Yeah, speaking of which, that's wild. Roburn's
we're
alive.
gonna-
We saw her dead. We
It is-
buried her.
I've died sometimes.
Hopefully, she doesn't, get annoyed about that. And same.
Yeah.
But Clem, there's this organization, the Riddle Machina, that like makes it so you like can't remember them or something if you see them, and they seem like they're bad and working for bad people. And Roburn is my dead girlfriend, but she's alive actually. Does that clear it up?
Crystal.
I'm glad.
Isn't there something the nature of the Riddle Machina had something to do
they were
with
alternates.
Like what
It was
alternates?
people from this plane or from this world, but who were from a different, essentially, reality, a different version of it. So they do not fully exist within this world, which is why they sort of pop out of your memory as soon as you've seen them.
So there's some kind of like tension there. There's a duality, or like they're not fully on this plane, or they don't belong in this reality.
One of them probably fucking hates high elves.
Oh goodness. Well, all right. Not time fuckery. Probably not memory fuckery. But okay. So who's this?
Dissociation fuckery? You dissociated so hard you're in two places at once?
Well,
Charity
that does sound like me and you. Oy.
Could somebody just be using your name?
The most obvious.
So from behind Burbage, Charity is going to give you a thumbs up.
Who could possibly be using my name? Is there ever even a point over the past few months that somebody has taken my name, or that I've foisted off my name onto somebody else?
You know that, like, people don't have to kindly ask to use your name, right?
You also remember that you literally used your name so that what's his name, Meepus, got conscripted after he'd mind blasted himself, so he didn't remember us.
Meepus. Me.
You didn't
That
go into
can't
the
be a
waterfalls to
person's
forget
name.
him. Well, it's a name. The jury's out on whether he's a person.
I remember Meepus. Oh man, that was like 2 seasons ago. What? I guess
It was a month and a half.
Vimeris. Yeah, Vimeris had that idea, didn't he? To make it seem like Meepus was me.
I don't remember whose credit or blame that was.
Is Meepus you? And Meepus is sneaking people in and out of Fidero or something?
No,
He was a smuggler.
It's impossible.
He doesn't remember who we were. He doesn't remember who we are at all. That's what he went under the waterfall to forget. He just tried to forget us because of the sheer amount of shit we'd done to him. To be fair, he deserved all of it.
The person you fought from the Riddle Machina Stormbringer on the boat had mentioned something about Meebus.
Yeah.
Maybe that's how he was found. So you're not exactly sure, like, it doesn't make sense that he just told them about you guys. So, like, maybe they were able to unlock something from him. So maybe the memory's still kind of deep in there somewhere, but just, yeah.
It can't be Meepus. Somebody like Meepus, can you imagine him surviving conscription into the military? He can't possibly still be, like, a thing. Right?
He was an accomplished smuggler and sea captain.
Yeah, but he was also, like, kind of a tool.
Oh, yes, very much that. But I'm just saying that is not in of itself enough to ensure that they die.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure it's probably not Meepus. So I'm just declaring right here, right now, that if we ever run into Meepus again, I will be absolutely shocked. Shocked!
Charity's going to look at you and just sort of cock an eyebrow. 10 gold it is.
All right, deal.
All right, let's go find Burbage Kemp.
So we're gonna have 2 Burbages?
God help us.
Wait, but do we know where to look for Burbage Kemp? Not this Burbage Kemp, the other Burbage Kemp?
You said there are houses outside the city, right?
Right, small settlements. Yeah.
Let's go
ask
in there.
Right, so there's the one to the south, which is Wyvern M. And then there's Lockdown, which is on the northeast side, and Eastwild, which is on the sort of the southeast side.
Well, Wivernham would be the one closest. Incidentally, how long would it like take to circle the city?
Hours, like a better part of a day to
Okay.
just go on foot.
Well, if it is Meepus, he's probably going to be operating someplace close to water, we would assume. Or at least I would. Let's try to ask in Wivernham, and then if not, we can... Well, at that point, I mean, you know, it's a city wall, not projecting out miles into the ocean or anything. So
Okay, yeah. So yeah, if everyone's in agreement,
Yeah.
you start making your way south along the wall. So a few, like 45 minutes, hour passes. You start to see the Wivernham sort of settlement outside the walls. There are several buildings that look destroyed and just leveled here. But you do see a few people kind of milling about. They're still trying to go about their lives. Though this is kind of a small farming community out here, you can't imagine that the fields are giving a good crop this year.
as we're coming in, Charity would be looking for any sigils or marks in Thieves' Camp.
Also, just remember, my name is Snow Mountain Baller, okay?
Yes. Whatever. Hey, Akari,
Yeah.
this is gonna be so fucking cool when I get this 10 gold from charity.
We should all use aliases, like not just call her that name right now.
Alright.
Yeah,
What-
I forgot what my alias
Why
is.
do we all need to use aliases?
You're probably
No.
fine, actually.
We're in the belly of the beast, Clem, and it wants to chew on us from inside its belly, and so we gotta be real sneaky.
Most
so that
bellies
beast
don't have
can't
teeth,
chew.
from what
This
I've
one
found.
does. This one
Oh.
does. So
Ah.
your name is Orange, and I don't remember what everybody else's secret names were.
I think Akari
Can't
was
I
like,
be Pomelo or something?
Okay,
Orange
fine.
was literally the one you picked for yourself last time.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Pomelo is fine, though.
Maybe that riddle thing has gotten hold of me and I'm
Please don't say
losing
that.
my memory.
Don't joke about that.
Burbage, do you remember my name?
I think, yeah, weren't you like Rosemary Clooney or some shit?
It was Rosemary Sinclair.
That was it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
it.
but like for your like alias's like story, like narrative wise, maybe like she got a divorce from Mr. Sinclair and now she's back to her maiden name, Rosemary Clooney. You know what I mean? Is that exciting?
I like it. I'll go by Rosemary Clooney, definitely.
And I guess
Yeah.
I'll probably be Attaché Edric or something, you know, some sort of callback.
Okay, Attaché Edric. Attaché Edric,
Wait, what
Rosemary,
are you?
Snow Mountain Baller, Pomelo, Wrath.
Okay, cool.
Oh, God.
So
Points
where-
at Clue.
Yeah.
Clue.
The
Randolph.
fire on his mane just.
Yeah, how's Randolph doing?
Yeah, he's trotting along behind you. Picking up snowballs, making them, and then throwing them at Burbage, but not hitting him at all.
Nice.
Don't touch me.
No, that's you. That's what you sound like.
You do realize that this is a creature that I made out of dead parts, right? That you're arguing with?
Yeah. I've argued with a backpack. Isn't that right? What's your name?
Seamus.
Seamus. Remember when? Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah.
Oh wait, the backpack was also involved. I think the backpack needs a secret name too.
What do you want,
Oh,
Seamus?
yeah. Yeah, call me.
How about this, Jan Sport? Jan Sport. The name
Okay.
is Jan.
Jan, that's fine. That's
Okay.
fine. Yeah, I don't mind Jan.
In all likelihood, I mostly use your name when, we're in the heat of battle, so I'll probably just end up calling you Seamus. Nothing
Yeah,
personal.
it's fine. I
Don't do
think
that.
no one's looking for me except my former owner, probably.
Your former owner who
Or-
literally didn't know what your name was. I asked you what you wanted your name to be after we killed her.
Yeah, asshole.
Yeah, and she
Or we
probably
could call him Seamus.
Seamus.
Instead of
That's-
Seamus.
Yeah.
That's how it's spelled.
Seamus.
Seamus.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh, I
just-
thought it was a joke because of seams, because backpacks have seams.
I'm just gonna
It
go.
works
Yeah,
on
that's
multiple levels.
Look,
Yeah.
whatever we call them, I think we can safely assume that his previous owner cannot possibly still be alive. I mean, in our experience, when we kill members of the Riddle Machina, they stay
I think maybe we should stop saying that phrase out loud. Also,
From up in front of you, Charity's gonna call back. Probably a good idea.
so we're gonna call them the puzzle machine.
The puzzle
No.
people.
God damn it.
puzzle
It's
machine.
a lot to keep all in my head.
As I'm walking in, again, I'm looking for any marks or signs in Thieves' Cant.
Sure.
Generally, I'm looking for them, but especially something that would indicate, like, smuggler this way. If you need help, go talk to this person, kind of thing.
Yeah. You're not super familiar with this area of town, except for Hikari. There's a brewery here called Love Brewery. It's a really cool establishment. And you're somewhat friendly with the proprietor of Love Brewery. Other than that, it has a general store. It has several different kind of, normal places. Though the sweets shop that's over here, Meats and Sweets, is not open currently. And yeah, on a couple buildings you pass, you see the Thieves' Cant for Friendly charity, but you don't see anything right now for like this way or like safety or help or anything like that.
Okay.
Which is a little weird. I guess that might mean that the Thieves Guild is not super active out here. But yeah. And Burbage, yeah, as a former member of the Thieves Guild in Phidero, they don't do much in Wyvernham.
So that's normal.
Yeah, it's pretty normal.
Okay.
What would you like to do?
Does anyone have a centralized place we could ask for information?
I say we go to Love's Tavern because I need a drink. And I forget why else. Let's go to Love's Tavern. Oh yeah, I know someone there.
Love Brewery. But yes.
Oh, I can't keep all these places. Are you serious? I have brain damage. I have other brain damage. I've lived for 3,700 years. I'm talking to God at this point. I'm just staring up into the sky. Are you fucking kidding me?
At
Love's
Aries?
Brewery.
Fair, where is that? I'm not even going to ask who you're talking to.
Southern end of town near the water.
I just start walking off.
So yeah, Charity will... I'm going to try to make my way through so that I can still see a lot of buildings, so I could try to see if there's any sort of, obvious markers of this way for entry, etc. And I think that if Charity was going to focus on something, he's probably also going to focus on marks that look newer. Because, a few months ago, the city wasn't locked in ice, the gates weren't closed, etc. He doesn't really care as much about, oh, hey, friendly fence here, blah, blah, blah. It's more like, what have you been up to since those gates closed?
So as you make your way down through this area, kind of keeping close to the wall, where there aren't a lot of people, though it's incredibly cold. You make your way down to Love Brewery, and finally you find something, Charity. You find a small script that essentially says passage.
Okay. Where is
this,
it marked?
on this establishment?
Oh, it's on Love's Brewery.
Yeah, it's on kind of one of the main posts of the corner, but the one sort of facing the sea.
Okay, but it is like where we're going.
Correct.
All right. Charity will go inside.
All right. Yeah, the bleak exterior of everything around you fades away very quickly as the warmth and the smells of this place just smack into you as you open the door. There's incense burning. There's incredibly large, ornate pillows just strewn across the floor of this establishment. A shirtless elf comes up to you, and he has a tray, and he hands you small, tiny little shots of something, and he says, "Welcome to Love Brewery."
Sorry, who do I know here? Like, what is their name and stuff?
Please, not this guy.
Please let it be this guy.
No, it's not this guy. It's Taxodon. Is his name? Taxodon, and he is a Loxodon who owns this place.
Okay.
Hey, everyone. Would you like a seat, or would you like some brews? We have a few potions in stock.
Can you point me in the direction of Taxodon, young sir?
Oh, Taxodon doesn't bother so much with the day-to-day. But if you really want Taxodon, it costs a little extra.
Yeah. Go tell him Hikari's here.
Oh, I'll do that. In the meantime, pick a pillow. If you need a partner, just ring the bell next to the pillow. And just be courteous and pay up front. Thank you all. And then he'll saunter away.
Charity's gonna look up. So 15 seconds after our first interaction. That's how long those lasted.
Yeah, do you make yourself comfortable?
Yup. I plopped down on the pillow right away, and I don't know. I guess I probably would order drinks from him. So
Can we maybe like collectively submit an appeal to Andy that Hikari said Rosemary Clooney?
But we need her connections here.
We do. That's true.
No,
But
I knew
maybe
as soon as we're like, we're gonna go to the place where someone knows Hikari, I'm like, well, codename plan screwed.
I didn't even think about that.
Well, maybe this guy, maybe like there's like a nickname that only he has for Connery. Were they close?
No, not super close. No.
I think we have to. I think we've made this bed and we have to lie in it.
Yeah. All right.
We've
Fair
plumbed
enough.
this pillow and now
Sorry
we have to
about
sit
that.
on it.
No, it's totally a good point. That
Charity will sit as much as possible, like with his back to a wall, both for the security of it, and he's trying to get as full of view of the room as he can. And again, looking for any follow-up, like thieves' cant markers of this way, talk to blah, identification marks.
Give me a perception check, unless you want to wander around and then investigate.
I'm going to start by just sitting, so I'll do the perception check. I'm going to give myself guidance. 18.
18. You're not actually noticing much kind of around you. There's only one other marking that you see close to you, and it's just try the hippie beer. That's what it says. That's it. Let's see. Burbage and Stormbringer recognize someone. Mostly because they have their shirt off and are a little sweaty. But do you remember the dock master that allowed you to bring the owlbears in? The dwarf. He said basically after you paid him off, look, I'm not going to say anything. Just have him out of the city before someone sees you, but you can bring him in. And then you were climbing up to the Blue Fort Inn, and you peeked in a window, and you saw all of him.
Oh, yeah.
That's this gentleman. Yeah.
I forgot that it was the dockmaster that we saw.
He's just kind of running over to the bar, and he says, 4 more waters, please. I'm thirsty. Ugh. And he seems to be the only one really enjoying the establishment for all it's worth in here.
Hey, Stormbringer.
Yeah.
See that guy? Remember when we saw him naked?
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, it was.
I've seen him kind of almost naked again.
Yeah.
Maybe
Why?
he doesn't ever wear clothes.
Should we go talk to him?
I feel like the GM might want us to, but I can't think of a compelling reason why Stormbringer would want to.
As Clem asks why as well, Cherry's gonna look over. When you have to ask about these things, I realize I wonder what it would be like to have a life where I didn't know.
Wait, we saw, didn't we see 2 people engaged in like a sex act through the window? Do we know who he was with?
No, you didn't recognize him at the time.
It was just some person.
Yeah.
At the time. Give me that face. What's that supposed to mean? Burbage is being presented with a shirtless dockmaster in the brewery. He's racking his brain now to try to remember what he saw in that window that day.
Give me a history check.
That's a crit hit.
That's a crit hit.
So if the person the dockmaster was having sex with is relevant and significant, Burbage knows.
Good job, you stumped him.
No, it was Tellywood Tyne. At the time, you had not yet met.
Interesting.
Oh, the
Caravan person.
Yeah.
Who I also know.
Who you also know. Yeah.
Stormbringer, I just remembered. I just got a flashback to the face of the person that Dockmaster was with that day. And I'm pretty sure it was... Oh, strike that, reverse it. No, don't reverse it, just change Stormbringer to Snow Mountain Baller.
You guys are doing great at this.
Jesus Christ.
I'm pretty sure he was with Tellywood from the Caravan.
Oh, that's nice.
As Stormbringer is saying
for
this,
her.
Charity is going to say into Burbage's mind, you remember we can talk into each other's minds, right?
Burbage dusts off his sigil. It's like, oh yeah, this thing. Oh man, I forgot I had this. That mid-season break by the palm trees really did a number on me.
Akari, order another one of whatever you're ordering.
Do you think like that means like Tellywood is like involved somehow in something somewhere? So, like we should investigate this, or is it just sex?
Message Cantaloupe Stormbringer. I don't think that it means anything insidious. Am I saying this out loud? Why didn't that work? Message Cantaloupe Stormbringer. Why am I saying this out loud?
Jesus.
What's happening? What are we supposed to do?
It doesn't work because you said it.
What is happening?
Jeez. Goddamn wizarding world of Harry Potter spell.
Okay. So, yeah, okay. Message Cantrip Stormbringer. I think it just makes sense that somebody, who's a dockmaster who sort of lets things like owlbears in and out of a town would happen to know somebody like Tellywood, who's always transporting things in and out of town. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Maybe they had some kind of beautiful love affair over the course of their lives, and maybe just recently though they got a divorce, and now Tellywood's going by her maiden name, Clooney.
Yeah, that totally following that entirely, and that makes a lot of sense.
Anyway, I'm with you. I can't think of a compelling reason why we should actually go over and talk to this guy, but he looks pretty good, doesn't he?
Yeah. I mean, I guess if you like him sweaty.
Yeah.
Hakari the Marion.
Oh, good.
I'm sorry that I ruined it right off.
No. This is just Charity in character. Galway out loud, like Galway the player, just to over the table. Absolutely thought this was no, but I absolutely thought that this was the right thing to do, and I also understood that it was going to involve immediately blowing the codenames thing.
Okay.
I was like, yeah, but it's probably still the best way. Charity is just sitting there going, oh, good.
You got a lot of nerve showing yourself here. And out walks this rotund, even for a Loxodon, male, kind of a darker, almost gray, like a dark gray, almost charcoal skin. He kind of waddles over. He's wearing what looks to be like a table run, like a long, thin sort of strip of cloth, just with his head poked through the middle of it. So it kind of comes down in front and comes down in back, but that's it. And he says, Hakari de Marion, you owe me 20 gold. Have you come to pay?
Sure.
Oh, really?
Here it is.
You hand him 20 gold?
Yeah. I hand him 20 gold.
Oh, well, fuck. All right. Not mad anymore.
Oh, good. So yeah, what's going on around here?
It's shit. Everything's shit. The walls are closed. Can't go in, and no one's got money for Love Brewery anymore. You remember, this place was packed. This place was smoking. This place was steaming and thriving and undulating.
Those are lots of descriptive adjectives. Yes, I would say all of those things about here. But what happened? Like, it's not like this anymore. What's sorry, I was looking at Galway. What happened? Why is it icy? What's going on?
Sometime in the fall, stuff started to get colder. Nights, maybe a snowflake here and there. And there was something like a couple months ago. It just froze over, almost overnight. The water's even froze in this area. It's a bleeding wasteland out there. No one tells us anything. They just lock everything down. And now I hear there's some sort of fire people
I hope they come and melt the whole place down.
So, who, my friend, would we go about talking to? Or about maybe some underground activities such as getting into the city? Would you happen to know anyone or who we would need to talk to if we got into the city? Any of that kind of information?
Listen, you don't want to go in the city. They're locked down too.
I'll give you another 20 gold if you tell me.
All right, who you want to talk to is Burbage Kemp. He is over in Eastworld.
Burbage has been drinking, and he's like,
Burbage Kemp, you say? Could you describe this person to me?
Oh yeah, he's a little person. Some say halfling, but I've seen him. He's a dwarf. Tall for a halfling, if you ask me. He's a bit weepy of a gentleman, and he's got red hair. He's a weirdo, but hey, whatever.
I can take 5 now if you want.
Burbage is gonna no. I'm just gonna lean to Clem. So, okay, all right. Charity thinks he's got this one, all right, but like red hair, weepy dwarf. I mean, that could be anyone. Right? It's just a coincidence, right, Clem?
I don't know who the fuck you're talking about.
Oh yeah. Not
I've
helpful
seen
at
a
all.
lot of red-haired dwarves in my life, though, so yeah.
Exactly my point.
There's a lot of gingers.
Name one that you've been with.
There was Steve.
Yeah,
Always Steve.
It could be Steve.
I never think of a different name.
That's probably Steve.
Yeah, Steve Oakenheart Hammer.
Stephen Oakenheart Hammer.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, Charity. Double down. 20 gold that it's actually Steve Oakenheart Hammer.
Specifically that it's Steve Oakenheart Hammer. Not just that it's not Meepus, but specifically that.
Yes. That's how confident I am, but it's not Meepus.
Charity's gonna look in his coin purse. 100.
Well, when you put it that way,
Andy's gonna make it be Steve Oakenheart Hammer just for this then.
Burbage is gonna look inside of his coin purse, and see if the bit is worth it. Oh, all right, yeah, 100 gold. That's how confident I am.
You've never lacked for confidence. All right, so you said in Eastwild?
Yeah.
Anything?
Nice place, Eastworld. It's as run down as we are, but it's on the east side, so you get that morning light.
Any idea how we could get in? How we could maybe, make our way into the city undercover a little bit?
I don't know. I mean, if you ask me, you just climb up over the top, I assume, or walk out into the sea. Try to get in through the docks, though. They're watching those real close.
Do you know anyone that would have any information? Maybe that. Yeah, is that a nod?
No, it's not.
Okay, because I was like, no one can see. I mean, only certain people can see that, Andy. Do you know anyone that maybe helps people get in and out, or maybe smuggles some things in and out?
I mean, Burbage Camp, yeah.
Oh, Burbage Camp. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So really, the only remaining thing is to get to Eastwild.
Okay.
And no real tips on any way to get there except just walking?
Yeah. I mean, you could go around the top, but that's a long way, so I'd trek across the water.
Is the water so frozen that you can walk across it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. About how long do you think it'll take to reach there?
A few hours, like tonight you get there. It's
Alright.
slow going on the ice, but quicker than going all the way around.
And it's like super, super safe, right?
No. Sounds awful. Not too long ago, I heard there was a dragon turtle in these waters.
Oh, do tell.
Yeah. And pirates. It's always pirates.
Even when the water's frozen?
Well, not so much since it's frozen.
So no ice pirates.
And no,
That's so funny.
I ain't seen none.
I will also say that in character, Charity did that. Complete with hand gesture.
Yeah.
All right, well, should we get headed out? Ateshadric, Pomelo, Rosemary, Snow Mountain Baller. Not going to mention you because you're not here. And Jan.
Sound good. Listen, so thanks for the gold and everything, Akari. We're square. But I also been hearing a few things about you. Heard you've been getting into some stuff.
Well, yeah, you know me. We've been friends for years, right?
Yeah.
I thought he didn't know me that well.
I mean, please agree to it.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, that's me. You know, I'm always getting into stuff, you know, drinking, fighting, all that good stuff. Speaking of drinking, would I be able to fill my flasks since I paid you the 20 gold?
Yeah,
and
you
the other
drink.
20 gold.
You drank on me tonight, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to down as many as I can before we leave. Are we leaving tonight or are we going to stay here?
I think we're going to try to move out because he said we could get to the other place by tonight.
Oh, yeah, okay. So I'm going to start downing as many drinks as I can. Like, I'm going to go find that shirtless elf guy and, like, wave him over.
So 10 minutes it takes for Akari to get pretty severely drunk. The rest of you then have a destination.
Yeah.
And why don't we go ahead and take a pause there? Take a break. Manage your fluids, everyone. Go get something to drink. Go to the bathroom. We'll be right back with all the more fun and fewer technical difficulties. Yay!
And
You
Andy's
say
going to
as your-
reset
As your
his
audio
router.
artifacts
Yeah.
again.
Oh, God.
we decided to let it go, but it's a
It was much
problem.
better than last time.
No, it was fine. It was fine, but
Okay.
yeah, you might want to reset.
All right. See y'all in, let's go ahead and say 15 minutes because of tech difficulties.
Yeah.
Be back soon.
Hello, friends. I'm going to move my camera just a there we go. How are you?
I thought you were
we're back.
waiting for them to respond. And I'm like, they can't.
How are you? Yeah? That's cool. Well, she doesn't respect you. We're back and we're playing. My voice might be going in and out a little bit because there's a bad internet connection on our end tonight. But we'll try to tough it through as best we can. Cool. So you all start out onto the ice.
Question.
Yes.
From my experiences with it on the plane ethereal, we can move at our normal speed, right? Like,
yes,
physical reality is sort of tied in a 1-to-1 distance. It's not like you phase through or anything, but we also can move just like we can move. Probably getting near the docks, try to be like, we can, Stormbringer, to your point of if it's safe, we can probably just pop into the plane ethereal to cross so that people aren't looking at us. There's not really ice to fall through in the plane ethereal. Do mind the giant wall that'll be on your left. Probably don't touch it. And I think that Charity would probably have Clue pop him into the plane ethereal quickly to see if it looks like we could do this.
Yeah. A little bit further away from the wall now. It's a little bit more used to what you used to seeing in the ethereal plane. The silvery shadow of everything. Not quite as blurred and not quite as windy here. And you don't, see any threats or anything necessarily. It looks like you can cross the frozen plain pretty easily.
So Charity would suggest doing that, probably.
Okay.
And this is safer because it's fake water here, so the fake water can't crack or have turtle dragons in it.
Yeah, nothing in the material plane really can affect you.
We just are sort of moving through the echoes of it, so it's a solid there. We're not stepping on the ice, we're stepping on an ethereal shadow of ice. And at this point, it would be kind of exciting because we'd be meeting ethereal ice pirates.
But the ice is flat. How can it have a shadow? It's flat right now.
With great hesitancy, I say it's a metaphor.
Not
What's a
enough
metaphor?
hesitancy, apparently.
Ignore me.
So how many creatures can Clue take?
I think its Clue can take 5, but it's when he switches. So he could do it multiple times.
Oh yeah, so he can bring people in.
I'm sorry, up to 3 willing creatures within 5 feet of him, but it doesn't say that, like, when he pops back, they pop back, so he can just shuttle things back and forth.
Okay.
Kitty.
Yeah. So with that and Randolph. Yeah, you'll have 6. So very quickly, yeah. You are all ushered into the ethereal plane. It's interesting because here, looking out over the ice sheet in front of the docks now of Phidero, it's like a sort of a brilliant, almost white, silvery plane. It looks beautiful, almost. You then continue to walk. You still see that sort of blue wall going up infinitely, who knows? Even at the docks. So even though there's no actual wall, that thin blue wall is still there.
And it doesn't look like there is any landmass of Phidero. Like, it doesn't look to me like there's a spit of land outside that wall that we could, like, go stand on, phase back in, or anything.
Right, correct.
Okay, yeah. It's literally guarding the perimeter of the city. Yeah, so probably just moving quickly across the ice, trying to use the hiddenness and...
Yeah, I mean, do you want to go stealthily, or do you want to, like, pick up the pace? If you pick up the pace, you can probably get there in 2 hours. If you're going quickly.
How long will it take if we go stealthily?
Like 4, 5 almost.
And normal is like 3.
Yeah.
Do we need to be stealthy in the ethereal plane?
There are things in the plane ethereal.
Okay, got it.
I might say that we don't go quickly, but we go normally. So the middle course. Keep an eye out, be able to respond if something's there, probably be able to like keep checking to see if we're seeing anything. And then we can, read and react. If we're like, oh, there's something over there. Let's go slow now.
Stormbringer's like super alert and watching for any dangers because she doesn't understand
Great.
what the fuck this is.
Charity's also going to say, in case of emergency, I know it's not everybody's favorite, but if Burbage and Clem can hop in Seamus, I can get more people back out that way at once.
Is this
There's only 10 minutes of air in Seamus?
is this really a precedent that we've set? Has Burbage gotten inside Seamus before? I guess that sounds familiar.
Yeah.
For small periods of time.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've.
Well, but
gone
I
too much.
don't mean for the entire walk. I was saying, like, if something is happening, if Charity goes
Oh, I see,
in
yeah.
the bag, hop in the bag because I'm using it to be able to port more people out at once.
Makes sense.
Hmm.
Solid. All right. So you've set out across this windswept terrain, and give me perception checks as you travel. Let's say.
I will give guidance to one or both of them, like if we're saying it's staged out at times.
Yeah.
I'll do a perception check.
Okay.
I'm probably not that perceptive if somebody else wants to do it.
I can do it.
Hikari's pretty good.
And both of you add a d4 to those. I'll roll them. Burbage adds 2, Hikari adds 3.
Sorry, I accidentally rolled it twice.
It happens all the time.
Can we
Just
take
take
the first
first.
one?
Yeah. What'd you get?
How much did I add? 3?
Yep.
14.
And Burbage
I
is
got 23.
Ooh. About half an hour, 45 minutes into the journey, oddly enough, there seems to be the closest thing you could see is, or imagine what this is a storm. There seems to be something kind of in the air off to the south, so it would be over the ocean itself. Kind of darkness gathering in the sky, but very hazy, not sort of fluffy like a cloud is, really. And then you start to see little bits of light, almost like lightning, streak through the sky, but it doesn't like move and crack. It doesn't it's not jagged. It's like a streak of lightning here and there, or a streak of light that just sort of crisscrosses around. And Burbage, one of these crisscrosses of light seems to pass behind something that is incredibly large, that's floating in that sort of cloud mass almost. It's lit up everything around it except for it. It's just this dark mass as the light streaks through behind it. And it seems to be moving slightly in that cloud, though again, you can't quite tell if the cloud is moving itself. But that is a ways to the south.
And remind me again, are we still in the ethereal realm? Or are we out?
Yeah.
So, weird.
So we're in the plane ethereal, and we're about a third of the way across, roughly.
Yeah.
And it's to the south of Phidero, or
Yes.
of this realm.
Yeah.
Burbage would point that out to everybody. Guys, look at that. There's something huge moving in the sky down there.
We're probably going to want to keep an eye on that, because that seems like the type of concerning thing that we probably don't want to be in the plane ethereal near.
Yeah.
You keep an eye on that and continue on at your pace, I assume.
Yep.
It doesn't exactly seem to be moving in your direction. Charity and Clem, give me either intelligence or wisdom saving throws.
but perhaps no. Well, I guess it's the
Jeez.
same.
15.
15's good.
I have a plus 11 though. So-
Well, that's not good.
Hold on.
You've done poorly.
yeah.
Please hold. Dear God, where is it? I'm gonna use Favored by the Gods, add 2d4 to that.
Okay.
So 15.
15. All right.
Oh, I can use my flash of genius to roll if I
Also.
want to, right? Or do I think I can't fucking say.
You
I'm just
wouldn't
gonna leave
know.
it 15.
Yeah.
This is dumb. Shut up, Rachel.
You don't even see anything affecting you. It's
Right, right.
just, it's honestly a creeping feeling that is kind of coming over you. You feel watched, both of you. You feel like something with great piercing eyes is looking for you, and it
Hey,
lands on you, and it
lands
sees
on us?
No, and
Its
it lands
gaze.
its gaze on you, and it sees you,
What?
and you look around. You might even lock eyes with each other because both of you are looking around kind of at the same moment. You don't see anything, but you feel like something is watching it close.
A voice in the side of my head. Do you feel that?
I do. It feels like it's looking for us.
What do you know what that is?
I don't.
Thanks for nothing.
Thank you for nothing.
Charity's gonna sort of wince. I think it might be time to get in the bag.
Already?
As you're saying this, Stormbringer and Hakari, you notice a small black shape in this sea of silvery white. Hunched over, small, and it's maybe only 20, 30 yards from you. It was not there a second ago, and it's not moving.
Does anyone else see that? And I point.
Ah, fuck.
Yeah, I see it. I don't know what it is. It may be a person, but I don't think it was there a second ago.
Does it feel like the gaze is coming from that?
It's super hard to tell. Yeah, with a 15, you're able to withstand whatever it was trying to do, but you can't quite place a source. And the black figure just very slowly starts to stand up. You realize he was just hunched, just almost hugging his knees. And he's a little tall and lanky, kind of long fingers.
So are we talking about a Slender Man situation going on?
So how are we doing with the in the bag?
Are you getting in the back? Clem?
All right.
Burbage.
Only because his name is Jansport now.
Aleximus.
Charity's gonna do the quick math that Clue can go with 3 people. And Chuck. We still don't actually have enough. Sorry.
If Clue can go with 3 people, then we're fine with those 2 in the bag.
Oh yeah, we are.
Randolph also climbs in.
Yeah, because Randolph will go.
jeez.
Yeah.
Charity's gonna be like,
me.
material plane now.
All right. That figure just barely turns its head, and you just see these 2 white glowing eyes.
No, thank you.
Turn toward you, and you are back immediately cold.
I want to fight that thing.
You almost feel a bit uneasy. The piece of ice that you are on doesn't look like it's broken or anything, but it almost feels like it's moving slightly. And it just kind of disorients you for a second. Almost like the ice is kind of bending a little bit at points.
Charity is...
Like there's something under it, or like it's something to do with us, our contact with the
Or
ethereal?
is it more like there is something
It's
pressing it down, but it's not cracking like ice should?
Right.
It's warping like fabric would.
yeah, it's just disorienting for a moment, and then whatever it is, you feel like you've at least acclimated to it. You're not noticing it quickly anymore.
Charity is probably going to have Stormbringer and Hakari get on Clue and be like, flying now, and have Clue take off with just not high, like I don't want to gather attention, but
Right.
just so he's not contacting the ice, and I'm going to do the same thing with my wings.
Sounds good.
And I think that I would say to Clue, like, not exactly, but basically do this moving quickly, not as quickly as he can. He's much faster than me. But for like 5 minutes, so that we're well safe for the time that they're in the bag, but then land very gently again, see how we think the ice is.
All right. Yeah. You do just that, and landing this time about 2 or 3 minutes just to try it out. You don't quite feel that weird sort of sensation of things kind of bending and warping just a little bit. Feels solid. Feels very stable.
Okay. Charity would probably do it for like another 2 minutes then, if we sort of stopped halfway, just using this to make as much progress as we can. And then the next time we alight, very carefully open the bag and like help people out one at a time, so it's not like dumping them out onto the ice.
You open a bag and a tiny little raccoon hand clings.
May I help you out?
Don't touch me.
That's difficult then.
It's scurrying up and
Charity's going to hold out, like his dagger in a scabbard, just to like give him an anchor point. Here you go. There you go. There you go.
And Randolph is first out.
Absolutely, who I would have chosen to come out first.
The two of you, Randolph was acting weird in there. You've never quite seen.
Always is.
Do you mean he's acting unusually or acting weird?
Unusual. He seemed genuinely scared. Kind of really, really anxious.
Inside the bag?
Yeah. And his "don't touch me's" got a little bit more forceful in there.
Just claustrophobic?
You don't know. He seems great now. He's kind of hopping around with his little cat tail and his small hawk wings.
God, he's a little monstrosity.
Bare face and his.
I can't believe Burbage got in that tight space with Randolph.
I don't think you knew that Randolph was going to be going in there. That sort of was a last-minute addition.
Yeah, I'd say that once Randolph got in, Burbage like literally passed out.
Fair.
As a defense mechanism.
And then Randolph just sat next to you and rocked back and forth while he was nervous.
Yeah. Actually, I like the idea of he was saying, "Don't touch me," and Burbage was saying, "Don't touch me." Just back and forth.
It was insane, Glenn. Terrible 5 minutes.
Yeah, how long was I'm just like, oh my God, why did I do this to myself?
No, you don't touch me.
I want that to be what Burbage says as he emerges from the bag. All right, did you all have a good time on your little vacation to essentially a demi-plane while in the plane ethereal? Was it good? Everyone have a good time?
It's kind of nice.
It was alright.
Other than Randolph.
What was that thing?
I don't know, but I didn't want it to find us.
Fair.
That was genuinely pretty creepy and unsettling, Andy. Thank you for that. It was, yeah.
Let's just keep moving.
All right. Another couple hours seems to pass. It's mid-afternoon. You can't help, kind of Charity and Clem, just sort of looking south, waiting for you to see a storm on the horizon or something, but there's nothing. Clear skies, though cold, And above you, straight above you, dark smoke cloud above you.
But
the uneasiness though passes over a little bit of time, and you kind of ground yourself in the mindfulness of being with your friends, now being much more aware of your surroundings.
Burbage is in conversation with Julian on his shoulder. I don't think Julian actually talks, but Burbage has found a way to communicate with it. It's like, yeah, I don't know. I guess probably just a few hours, I guess. Yeah, I as far as I know, you're just the product of a spell, but you're saying you've become aware of your own mortality, your own impending disappearance from existence itself. Oh, Julian, I think about that all the time, but for you, 8 hours, and it's been like 4 or 5 at this point. Yeah, some people believe that there's an afterlife, but probably not for you. Anyway, what's going on?
Clem, you realize that Julian had fallen off about 20 minutes ago and is trying to catch up on the ground. Burbage is just talking to no one.
Hey.
I'm not going to tell him.
That's unfair. Patently unfair. Completely changes the meaning of everything I just improvised.
Do you think you were really talking to Julian?
I don't know what Burbage thinks. I don't know what I think.
I was going to say, where's the difference?
Well, as we established in the last session, I, Adam, am a Lovecraftian horror on the fringes of Burbage's unconscious, and
yes.
Yep.
And again, you might have felt the presence of Julian there, but Julian's been.
That was my way of saying we should acknowledge that Julian is about to cease to exist in a few hours. I think that's important. I think we need to honor that.
Fair.
Let's find some way for him to be of use before that happens. Okay, guys? Collaborative storytelling. I'm crowdsourcing it.
I love it. And as you are pondering that, your journey actually goes fairly smoothly, and it's not too long before you're getting close to the to Eastwild itself, past the dockyards. Now that you are in the material world, you do see several ships further south, past the kind of ice shelf that has been created here. But they seem to almost be just kind of waiting. They're not actually moving too much. You're wondering if everyone's just sort of hoping this just goes away, and the real productivity of the city can resume again on a moment's notice. Yeah. The wind has picked up just a little bit, but it's not snowing. It's just cold. And you arrive on the shores of Eastwild, or near Eastwild.
All right, let's go find Burbage Camp.
So yeah, you pass through the Whitemore Fields, which is mostly fields of like hops and grains and a lot of sort of brewing spices and that sort of thing here. And this is a much smaller outer community than Wivernham was. But yeah, you arrive, and there's a few people kind of on the road, and you do see a small number of people at the gate itself, and they seem to be shouting.
Oh, good. Local disturbances.
Hey, Charity, speaking of disturbances, I'd like to up our bet from 100 gold to 200 gold. I bet you 200 gold that whoever or whatever this Burbage Camp is, it will serve as the perfect, final, lucid resolution to all of my identity issues. I think we're going to meet the answer to all my questions. 200 gold?
You're betting me 200 gold that any single individual being we could meet will fix all of your psychological and emotional trauma.
Yeah, because I've always felt
Fuck it, yeah.
like incomplete, and if I find the right person, even if it's me or not me or whatever, then I'll be complete based on somebody else's existence in my life.
I'm going to put it this way. I was employed by an actual god, and I don't think there's a singular entity that can handle that.
All right, so you're taking the bet?
Yeah.
200 gold. I'm going to be so fucking rich. And mentally healthy.
Hey, sounds good to me.
Burbage, if 200 gold was what that took, I'd be delighted to pay it.
Well, yeah. That's it. Oh, what are all those people yelling about? Let's go investigate.
And once again, if we're getting a little bit closer to that, Charity's again going to be looking at buildings for any thieves' cant markings.
Also, remember the code names, okay? Because now we can be new again. So I'm Snowman and Baller, and that's Attaché Edric, and that's Pomelo, and Rosemary Sinclair, and Wrath, and Seamus, or Jan Sports.
Still Clue.
And Clue.
But it has a E at the end.
Fair.
That's the secret.
Clue with an E.
And a silent G at the front.
There is much more thieves' cant on these buildings. On basically any sort of natural entrance into this area, you notice. You notice the letters DOE for some reason a lot, and you see Kemp written in thieves' cant, and you see a lot more about passage, pathways. Essentially stuff that allows you to realize, oh, there's a bit of an underground railroad kind of situation here. There are lots of different ways people are being transported in and out of places, and Kemp is the name that you're looking for to do this.
Okay. Do I see any indications of like a meet spot or like a place that you would contact in this?
Not necessarily a way yet to do it, which kind of tells you from your experience that this isn't necessarily a secret. You just sort of need to ask.
Okay,
around.
so this is more of the a secret method of saying here's how to get to this.
Yeah,
talk open and you can talk open and above board in a quiet way, but
yeah, it's a wild style, and it's not on the menu, but if you ask for it, which everyone knows about, you can. Yeah. And you see a group of people very heavily clothed, which is kind of weird because it's not actually winter clothing. It's just like a lot more of the normal desert clothing that these people have. It's just piled on in layers and layers and layers. So you see people with like 20 scarves on and about 15 vests. And capris. There's just so many layers of capris on people. Yeah, it's a little almost comical at first until you realize, oh yeah, these are these people's lives now, and they're ill-equipped for it. And the people are shouting, and it's very obviously they're shouting for the people to open the gates and let them in. And you also notice that on the north end of town, there are 3 buildings that are still smoking from being recently burned down.
Okay.
So what are we looking for here?
A red-haired, weepy dwarf named Burbage Kemp. Do I see any, like, taverns or places like general store, any place that would make sense to make a discreet inquiry.
Right. Yep. Door Meadows is a general store. And it has several thieves' cant about friendly, good place to get information and that sort of thing.
She'd be like, I think that over here might work well. I can't remember who all in the party reads Thieves' Cant.
I think just
Burbage,
you and
I know
Burbage.
does.
Yeah.
I couldn't
Maybe
remember.
Hikari?
I thought Hikari might be able to.
Yeah, I think I can.
Yeah.
Okay. So most of us can read the signs and you'd know why Charity's pointing at it. But yeah, I think Charity would sort of be like, so I think Charity would stop and sort of huddle up as a group. I think the most important thing for us to find right now is a way into the city. And if you are going to gather in a group to yell at the gates to let you into the city, that's probably not the people who have that. Yes?
Makes sense. To me, I guess.
Maybe it's like a diversion though, and we're supposed to like do it, and then it's like we have to do it right. It's like a puzzle, and then.
Are you just angling to lick something again?
I mean, that's how you solve puzzles. So
Can I just look around to see if I see a red-haired dwarf?
Sure, give me a perception check.
Sure, he's just standing right in front of us. 17.
17. You're looking around. You see several dwarves. You see several halflings. It's quite diverse here, but none of them with red hair sticking out. Most everyone's covered up.
No one
Fair.
openly sobbing.
No one openly sobbing. Gotta get the boat.
Charity will hop into Door Meadows.
All right. The place is empty. The shelves are mostly empty. This is kind of a sad general store. But there's a lovely, friendly, old dragonborn woman who kind of saunters around. She's wearing a rather large apron that she takes off immediately, throws in the corner. Friends! Hello! What can I
Pleasure.
do for you? Welcome to Door Meadows. I'm afraid our stock is not what it used to be, but it's delightful to have people and company, at least, even if you don't buy anything.
Indeed. We were hoping that perhaps you could help us with a little bit of guidance to local personages.
Oh, people, sure. Who are you looking for?
Charity will, again, in the way that he has occasionally, sort of palming coins and leaving them on the counter. Like, we were interested in a Master Kemp.
Oh, Master Kemp, the defender of Eastwild. Oh, you're looking for a celebrity then?
Charity is going to actually look back at Bourbon and go, is it just tied to the name? Anyway, yeah. Yes, we would be. We understand that he has some particular expertise in reaching certain locations.
Oh, certainly. Well, I could get you in contact. I can't promise anything. But thank you for the coin.
Of course, I understand.
It is appreciated, especially nowadays. Certainly. I will through a couple people that I know, let him know that you're looking for him, and you'll meet here tonight, if that works.
Excellent. Charity will also looking through my inventory for a second. Give her like 5 sets of rations, since it seems like her stock is very bare. Like, I'm sure you know of people who could use these and or could purchase these from you.
Oh, bless you. Oh, you're a regular Kemp, you are. Thank
Please
you
never
so
say
much.
that again.
Oh, well, okay. Thank you so much for these. I do appreciate them. I will get them to the right people.
Hey,
Excellent.
if he's the defender of Eastwild, how come there's buildings burning, you know, on the north side of Eastwild?
Oh, well, this morning, we had some of them are calling an attack from some sort of monster. There was 3 of them. One of them just started burning everything. Luckily, they were driven off. I think, most of Eastwild's guard, what is left of it, made a stand, and they're gone. So
Were these creatures made of flame?
that's what someone said. Yes, they were made of flame, fire itself. I don't know how much more this poor town can take. I don't know how much any of us can take. Sounds like those inside the walls aren't faring any better. I don't know why you'd want to go in. But
I question that myself sometimes.
soon, us ourselves are going to have to leave, go somewhere else. But anyway, tonight, maybe 8 o'clock.
Anywhere in town we can wait until then?
The tavern, I suppose. It probably has a couple rooms as well. But yeah, so that's just around the corner. The sign will have a big beaver like gnawing on some wood and stuff. It's called the Beaver's Log.
Trying to be, yeah, of course it is. Thank you. She said her name was Dormeadow. Did she introduce?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Mistress
Or-
Dormeadow.
Yeah. You assumed it. Yeah, jeez.
And Charity will again hand her a couple more gold. See you this evening.
If you do get inside, and poor Moxie is still there, she would make the best cupcakes. If you stop by Moxie's at any point, pick me up a couple. I'll reward you greatly for them.
Does Charity know this person that she's referring to?
Yeah, there was a place in town. I mean, it's a big town, but you think you remember the name.
Yeah.
You don't really remember much about him.
Okay.
But
But it doesn't sound like something I've absolutely never heard of.
No. Yeah, you've probably been in there at some point, looking, because they sell potions and elixirs and stuff. And
Oh yeah, so I almost certainly would have been
salves
at some point, since they would have been the type of people who would have had supplies for me.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Head over to the log.
head over to the log.
Okay. Yeah, you kind of pass the group of people still shouting at the guards to let them in. You do see a couple children trying to make a snowman, but the snow is also kind of filled with some sand as well, and so it's falling apart pretty roughly. It's
That's the saddest thing I've ever heard. Thanks for that. Visual.
And they look at you and they say, "Mommy?" No, I'm just kidding. They don't. But they do sort of look at you as you pass by.
Barbara's just gonna send Julian over. He's gonna say, Julian, you've only got like an hour left. Maybe you could spend that hour hanging out with those kids, maybe helping them with that snowman, sandman. You could be its nose. Or something else, depending on how old these kids are. How old are they?
10 or so.
All right, to the nose. You can be the nose.
It then looks over at you, Rachel, because you're its master. I think technically. Oh no, I can't hear.
I had just muted. I forgot. This is like the thumb of like a corpse, right? from the tomb.
Yeah.
Do I think that sending over a sentient, but not really, not talking, just moving
An animated.
an
I mean-
animated corpse thumb to interact with the children would be good?
I mean, I'll leave that to you, I guess. I don't know. It will look like a nose.
Yeah, fuck it.
Yay!
All right, so
it
you're
bows
gonna
to
want to
both of you.
go over there, and you're gonna want to interact with those children, but be cool, because they're children, and you're a corpse part, and just, be cool.
All right. So it wanders over and starts to climb up on the thing, and the children. "Ah! Oh my god!" One of them just bolts away. One of them throws a snowball at it. Julian gets hit and
friendly.
falls onto the ground.
His name is Julian.
One of them's like, "No way! What is this?"
As we're continuing to go, you said that like the snow was mixed with sand.
Yeah, here.
I'm gonna try using thaumaturgy to almost like sift it slightly to get them
Like,
some
yeah,
purer
kinda clean it.
snow using the tremor effect
Sure, yeah.
away from them. So
Just like, yeah, you kind of lift a little bit and it starts to kind of shake, and some of the snow kind of falls into a kind of a golden grayish mess on the ground. And the snow looks cleaner, and Julian kind of points to the snow, and the children kind of slowly come back and begin to play a little bit more.
and I think that Charity will also to maybe the person at like the back of that group that's chanting go, good people, you appear cold. It will only be for a little bit, but you can warm yourselves and create bonfire. Far enough back so that it's not like right at them startlingly, but
Right. One or two of the people from the group yell, "They're back! They're back!" And then everyone else kind of calms them back. It's just a normal fire. It's fine. And they look at you. Thank you. We appreciate this.
of course,
What's your name?
Wrath.
Wrath.
Look, I didn't pick it.
That's Wrath. We appreciate it. And they just start kind of warming. Now a larger group is almost huddled around the fire, then is yelling at the wall. And yeah, you make yourself into the log. It's kind of packed. There's a bunch of people just sort of drinking. They must still be getting, their imports and stuff, and so this business is actually doing pretty well. One of the waitresses that is around the establishment kind of pops up over to you and is tabaxi. There we go. And she's speckled with white and black, and kind of looks over at you. Hi, can I get you anything?
A
Seat,
quiet,
maybe, at least?
a quiet corner and probably a fair number of drinks for this one. Pointing
Okay,
over
okay.
his shoulder at Hikari.
That one's rosy-cheeked already. Are you sure?
You're wanting a drink, I assume, Rosemary.
Yeah, drinks, 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 drinks. I'm still very drunk.
Yes. Fair. We do need the coin, so but I don't know about a corner. I could sit you over here by the fireplace. That's the best room available.
Sure, that should work.
Fair. And at this, she kind of snaps her fingers, and a few pixies fly over, take a couple of the plates and glasses that are already there off, and she leads you there.
Oh, good. Pixie.
Yes, welcome to the log. Is there any drink specifically I can get you? What are you doing here, if I might be so bold?
Did I see any thieves' cant markings on this place?
You did not. None.
We're travelers who had been hoping to enter Phidero, and we had not heard on the road that things were so... this.
Oh, did news not reached you? Well, things are this.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a shit show.
It's been a long trek through not entirely habited areas for us, so there was little opportunity for news. Tell me, do you have anything?
About why this is happening?
Yeah, any news? We saw some buildings smoking.
Well, if you ask me, and no one ever does, but if you ask me, I would say that Ryn is mad. And she's locked everything down. Because the jerks at the temple didn't sing a song right or provide her with enough virgin sacrifices. I don't know.
Gods, am I right?
Right. I think they made her mad and she's locked down. A lot of people say Ryn doesn't have power in this world. I beg to differ. This place is magically frozen, obviously.
This certainly doesn't seem normal for a desert.
No. So,
They
But-
do virgin sacrifices at the temple?
I don't know what they do at the temple. I'm never there. Don't let me in.
Yeah. Fuck them.
Fuck them. They only let people in if they are summoned. And even then, they lose their shit half the time. That's what I've
Yeah. Yeah, I heard that too. Not here because we just got here, but I fucking heard that about those fucking temple acolytes, so they're just steal shit.
Yeah, well, that's probably why Ryn cursed the whole place. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, you shouldn't steal things from people. This is payback.
I like this one.
Most people do. I would like to give a quick insight check of do I think that sort of what she's saying about, like, I think this is Ryn punishing them, etc. It's not even for the exact thing, but do I feel like she's covering? Like, I feel like that's
I see, yeah.
a thing that Charity would be able to get of, like, are you playing a role when you
Sure.
do this?
Yeah, go for it.
I'll have guidance myself. 18.
18. Yeah, you feel this person believes this at least. She's a little apprehensive, maybe telling this to strangers because it sounds a little out there. But yeah, you feel she's being as genuine as she can be about it.
Yeah, at the very least, I get the sense that she's not,
Right.
she doesn't believe something completely different. And
Right, she's not.
Charity be like, I understand gods can be capricious, and it usually causes great destruction.
Well, I don't know what that means, but it sounds correct.
Shifty bastards.
Yes, shifty bastards. Anyway, I make a mean white Bavarian. It's Ankeg milk, along with a type of whiskey.
I'll have one. I'll have 3.
Me
Finally.
too.
A place with
6?
good classic Ankeg milk.
Well, it's old Ankeg milk. We don't get a lot of new Ankeg milk. But
Is
it
the
doesn't
type
spoil.
of whiskey druidic by any chance?
Oh, no. Couldn't get a hands on druidic whiskey.
Okay.
Do you know you have to plant a druid to get druidic whiskey?
That's...
How do you
wild.
plant a person?
I know, right?
Is the person that gets planted okay?
I don't know. I assume so. I don't think you murder a druid every time you make some druidic whiskey. I hope
I
not.
hope not. Yeah, jeez.
Just
Anyway, you should be going to make those white Bavarians.
yes, thank you. Yes. I'll be back with 6 of those.
How much would Charity think that would be, roughly?
She didn't say, but, 2 or 3 gold, probably.
I'll go ahead and hand her a gold up front.
Thank you. And she'll scamper away. And yeah, you see all kinds of people around you just sort of kind of depressedly sitting there, not even talking quite a lot, just keeping warm and trying to drown their thoughts in alcohol. What would you like to do? Or would you just like to pass time until this evening?
I think when the waitress came back, Charity would ask her name.
They call me Clementine.
Charity's gonna look around.
That sounds like a dumb name.
Oh, Tammy, what's your name?
Pomelo.
Pomelo. It's a lovely name.
Thanks. Did your mother give you the name Clementine?
No. No, I sort of adopted it along the way. I'm sweet, you see.
But also a little bit sour.
A little bit tangy, if you know what I mean.
Oh, because you don't wash down there, yeah.
Wow.
All right, we're going to ignore Pomelo for a moment, and tell me, with everyone seems to be in a bit of dour spirits, which is understandable. With what they're drinking, do you have enough for them to have another round?
We do?
Charity will push her like 10 gold.
That's enough, yeah, to get everyone another round. She runs up onto the bar itself, stands tall, and says, "Ladies and gentlemen, another round has been bought for everyone." And hey, that's not bad. And it's raising some spirits here. They point over there to our new friends in the corner, Pomelo and company.
Message cantrip charity. What are the chances that there's a Burbage Kemp here and a Clementine? Clearly there are doubles of all of us lurking on the fringes of Phidero.
Charity is going to message Cantrip back. You remember that you're saying this to the one of us who has a literal clone of him, right?
Oh, wait, have I not told you?
Told me what?
The clone's not a problem anymore. Charity, I took care of it.
This conversation has been in our mind, but Charity is gonna like lean forward and put his elbows on the table and like steeple his fingers in front of himself. Many questions spring to mind, my friend. What does not a problem mean? Let's start there.
Oh, well, yeah, I didn't tell you. I found this powerful magical artifact when we were in the Shadowfell. And there's something about this artifact that made me feel intensely powerful at the prospect and execution of using it. And it felt like, wow, if I could just identify an intention, a purpose, a goal, an objective, and use this object, it would happen. So, yeah, I decided I'll just do my part and rid ourselves of the charity club.
I will say that Charity is just like working through biting off each of his nails as Burbage is saying this. Charity's gonna stop. That's very sweet, and I appreciate your assistance in this matter. Was it a deck of cards?
Oh, cards? No, it was nothing like greeting cards, if that's what you mean. Like Hallmark? No, not that. Is that what you mean?
No. I was more thinking like playing cards, divination cards, that kind of card.
I guess they were kind of a deck of playing cards, or they were more like they weren't they like cards with ivory, right?
Yeah.
But I wouldn't want to. Now you wouldn't play cards with these, Charity. They were like ivory. You couldn't even shuffle them without breaking them, probably.
Oh,
Why
good.
do you ask? Why?
Engraved tiles.
Yes, engraved tiles. That's a good description.
Did they have images on them?
Yeah, some pretty cool art, pretty cool images, very artistic.
Did you happen to see which one, which kind of image was there when you took care of the charity clone?
I think it was like a big, awful, evil, threatening, scary flames. Yeah, like a demon, like a devil.
Yeah.
No, but it was just literally, it was just flames, right?
Yep.
Fire.
With
Yeah.
the face in the flames.
With the face in the flames. Yeah. Don't know what that means.
So just open question, Burbage. If you were, say, looking for a shop that was devoted to fixing your problems, would this image be sort of what you'd expect on the shop sign? Or would that be the image you might expect on a sign devoted to destroying your life?
Looking for a shop to solve all my problems. I see what all this line of questioning is about, Charity. Somebody's getting a bit nervous that I'm about to win this bet. Well, rest easy, old friend. And Burbage pats you on the shoulder if he can reach wherever he is. If I do win this bet, which I clearly am going to, I will donate the proceeds to a charity of your choice. But it won't be the clone charity because he's dead. You want some pancake milk? You want some of this drink with pancake milk in it?
The poison? Yeah, sure, why not? Charity's also gonna look at. Yeah, this isn't actually one of those times that falls into the 70%. But yeah, we're good. Oh God. Charity is going to message Cantrip, Stormbringer. Stormbringer may need to have a conversation later. Please do not reply at this time because you do it out loud. But just remind me to have a conversation with you later. Signed, Charity. Best regards.
Message Cantrip Wrath.
Are you saying this out loud?
Yeah.
Charity's gonna hold up finger.
Rude. Fucking rude.
My name is Wrath. What do you expect?
You said you didn't pick that name.
I didn't!
So why would you act like it? Labeling theory?
It wasn't. It's fine. We'll talk about it later, Snow Mountain Baller.
Okay. Cool. When? Like 5 minutes?
Once we're where we're trying to get and relatively safe.
Oh, that's not gonna like ever happen again. Probably. That hasn't happened in a long time. So.
When we're going to go to sleep for the night. Let's go with that.
Okay, cool. I'll be there when you're trying to go to sleep.
Charity? You hear a voice behind you. Is that you?
No one by that name here.
You're not Charity. I'm sorry. You look the spitting image of a physician that used to look after our family.
Who is this?
This you recognize as one of the Sand Keepers. Who you every once in a while would pop in on and make sure that everyone is healthy. Your eyes do look a little different than his. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm not racist. I have a lot of tiefling friends. It's not that I think. Well, you look the spitting image of this other tiefling that I know.
Do I feel like there is an angle that I could like hold up a note or communicate with this person in a way that would not be obvious to anyone else? The family is fine, but like not obvious to anyone else in the room.
Yeah, I mean, they're right up at the table at this point now. So if you did kind of write something and just kind of slide it over a little bit, they could probably read it. No one else.
Yeah, so I think Charity would write, "You're not wrong, but people are looking for me." And just sort of show that.
They look at it and then they look at you and start to kind of look around. Oh, it's not me. I just saw you. I'm so sorry. My family and I got out of Phidero and we're on our way to Sherstow or I don't even know where.
Isn't Sherstow the one that burned down?
No, that
No,
was
That was Wickamp.
Oh yeah.
well, Wickham and the first one to burn down
Roth.
was Roth. There it is.
And Sherstow is the halfling village where we fought the Oni outside of.
Oh right, another wonderful place that has no trauma associated with it for us.
Remember when we were sailing away from Sherstow and those mysterious ASMR figures just stared angrily at us? That was kind of creepy. And those were the dragon turtles, obviously.
Burbage just put it together in his head. Wait a second.
Oh my god! Even though literally Burbage saw them transform
Yeah.
from the ASMR figures into the... Oh!
I thought those were new ASMR figures.
Those were the same ones from before! Whoa!
Yep, clone totally taken care of.
I just wanted to say thank you for all that you've done for us. I don't know where you've been. A lot of us were looking for you for a while. We thought something terrible happened to you. But it's good to see you okay, and whoever you are, I just wanted to... Yep, that's it. Okay, thanks. And good luck.
Charity will probably ask, were many of the Sandkeepers left inside the city?
Yes, the dunes had froze over before the city was locked entirely. So the Sandkeepers didn't have a job, essentially, for weeks. A lot of them tried to get out. It was slow going, but we thought everything would just reverse itself, and it hasn't, so... Yeah. Yeah.
Charity will probably push this figure another couple of coin. Take care of your family.
God bless you. Yes. Whoever you are. Take that, pocket it, and walk away. Burbage and Nagari, you're getting pretty plastered by these things. Akari, you're having a hard time kind of staying conscious. Give me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Okay. Sorry, my roll 20. Well, hold on. I think I got it. Sorry, it keeps rolling twice. So
It's all good. What'd you get?
Well, the first one's 13.
13. You're kind of in and out of consciousness here a little bit. All the rest of you sort of see Akari kind of wavering. sort of moving their head around, not really locking onto anything. Kari's not going to be much use tonight, it seems like.
Whoops.
Burbage is okay though.
So far,
He's pretty drunk though.
a little drunk, yeah.
Message cantrip, Stormbringer, and Clem. I want to give you both a heads up that very soon, when 8 o'clock rolls around, I'm going to win a bet. And Charity might be very upset. I think he's got a fragile ego. He can get competitive when it comes to gambling. And so, when it happens, when we meet the person we're here to meet, and it ends up being Steve Hogenhammer, and he's the answer to all my questions, I just want the both of you to be ready to give Charity a shoulder to lean on, so to speak. All right? Because that's what family. Did I finish that sentence? Did I finish it?
Yeah, message cantrip out to Shayadric. I think you finished the sentence because you said, because that's a family. And I've got big shoulders, so I have enough shoulders for all of you. You don't need to worry about the shoulders situation.
Charity is sitting at the table, like, wincing increasingly. I've told you all the party line hurts.
Who was that? Did you guys invite someone in here?
Charity saying that out loud.
Oh, all right. So he didn't hear us.
Clem is just making a very, like, disgruntled face, but not saying anything.
Stormbringer, message Stormbringer.
A small little raccoon hand reaches up on the table and starts to slide one of the shots of cake milk away.
Away from Burbage?
Yeah, and then down under the table.
I'll allow it.
I'll allow it.
Clem's going to see where this goes. Do the little bear lick.
You know, Palmello, these things do have poison in them. I don't think that is very good for him.
I can always just remake him.
He doesn't have a stomach.
I was like,
Yeah, I didn't put the stomach in him for sure. I don't even know where that goes.
Yeah, if he doesn't have a digestive system, what is happening here?
I guess we'll find out. That's kind of fun. I can always just make another one. It's fine. Randolph's fine.
I can always just make another one. I'm just picturing under the table, Randolph.
Mellow people aren't replaceable.
Well, I'm just going to sit over here. I'm just going to wait.
Aw, you think Randolph's people.
Randolph's my buddy.
Yeah.
There's no way. There's no way. There's no way it's me. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. It's probably someone else.
Shayadric is having a breakdown.
I'm not having that.
Hakari is now unconscious.
It is
and
about 7:30, so
yeah, it is getting
Rosemary's
toward
unconscious.
the time when you want to head back over.
It's just one last breakdown before all my problems are solved. It's a breakdown for the road. It's a breakdown for good measure.
a little breakdown is a treat.
Yeah, it's a treat.
I can carry Rosemary, and
Yep.
also, it might be bedtime.
So you're getting sleepy too, Stonebringer. It's been a long day. But yeah, it's about 8 o'clock. And you're supposed to meet them back over at the other place.
Mhm.
So you carry Hakari out of here?
Yeah.
All right. Stormbringer pretty easily. Fireman carries Hakari out, who's just muttering, in my day, there wasn't even bronze. And, which is weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
She's talking about currency?
And
No, I think she's suggesting she existed before the Bronze Age.
Who knows?
I thought. Wait, is there a D&D edition where there wasn't bronze? Wait, is there bronze?
there's no, bronze is not a thing currently.
There's no bronze. I'm thinking copper, silver. Oh,
Yeah.
that's funny.
So as you pass a small snowman, there's a small kind of limp thumb sticking out the face of the snowman. That, you know what?
I'm glad
Oddly
it's
looks
the
like it
face.
has a smile on it.
Aw, yay!
That's
Yay for
horrifying.
Julian.
The limp thumb nose is smiling. I'm just gonna say that that's fine. No.
The limp corpse thumb nose is smiling.
Oh, good. We added a word to make it worse.
You open the door to Door Meadows. The lights are kind of off at this point. Looks like they were closing up shop, but that's the best time to do smuggling business. And you enter, and there is a... why did I not mute? Sorry. There is a small figure standing at the counter with its back to you, laying out something on the counter itself. Some sort of long purse, almost like object. Yeah.
All right, this is it. Burbage knows this is the answer to all of his questions, his fears,
Steve, is that you?
uncertainties, and much like in the first session of the Fates of Ryn, he's going to run up in full certainty that whoever this is, it is the answer to all of his questions and identity issues, and he's gonna just immediately hug this person from behind. Very emotional.
You hug this person from behind.
Consent is important.
The figure turns to kind of look at you. And it's Meepus standing in front of you, who immediately stabs you in the gut.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
And that's where we're ending tonight's session.
Wrath, I owe you 200 gold.
Sure thing, Atash Adric. Sure.
He rolled a 22 to attack, just to make sure.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that hits.
All right. We'll deal with that next time, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Sorry we had so many technical issues tonight. You're awesome for hanging out. The family's closer to getting inside Phidero finally. It's Trek, and they've already lost a day. Not like there's a time limit or anything. So we will pick up here next time, which will be in a couple weeks. So thank you so much. Next week we have on Thursday, right?
Yep, Thursday at 7:30 Eastern we have Spire,
Yes.
Saints and Sinners, and I don't think we know if we have anything yet on Friday. So
Okay, cool. So we'll keep you posted. Check out our socials and stuff for that. And join our Discord. So thank you all very much from all of us at Helpful Goat Gaming. We love you. Hang in there, and we'll see you next time.
bye, everybody.
Bye.
Good night.
Lonely she walks down beside the green river. My lady she was, and I bend my knee. One divine, my seraph, my heart to deliver. She gives me a small flower that I call Doom Lily. I love so completely, so true and so sweetly. But know that our story is so short it must be. Every time that you show me and white flower reminds me of me lady who descended for thee. When she leaves me sighing, leaves me into darkness, I call to my lamb, please return back to me. For she gave me a child and departed as I smiled, but me only me lonely is a silver cross a sea. Good no year she leaves me where I remain sweetly. Now the voice of